There are two types of friend in this world. One those who promise and keep them, and another those who make promises but never keep them. Today's story is about some such friends who live in the same city, Frankfurt, but used to be so busy in their work that they do not get time to meet each other.
N. Immortal Promise.
This story is a depiction of the true event. The identity of people associated with these incidents is limited to them. This channel does not promote any spiritual or superstitious activities.
Almost 5 years after finishing college, Leon, Elias, and Jonas planned a reunion in Berlin, a small tourist destination in Germany, which has become very famous in the last few years. They booked a room in a hotel named 180 Degrees. Leon and Elias left by train that night itself. As Jonas was busy with office work, so he left for Berlin by his own car about 1 or 2 hours after the train departed. Therefore, Jonas arrived Berlin 5 or 6 hours late. That day, during their conversation, they had no idea when it was late night already. They ordered dinner around 11 p.m., and in the meantime, Jonas switched off the lights, lit the candles, and got the planchette board out of his bag, as all three of them were addicted to it since their college days. Right after when they started playing planchette game together, when suddenly they heard the sound of boiling water coming from the electric kettle kept in the room. The moment Leon got up and lifted the lid of the electric kettle, that sound stopped. And right away, another sound started coming behind him. Apart from Leon, Elias and Jonas could also hear that sound. And suddenly, the sound of the doorbell almost turned their body weight to its half. Leon gathered all his courage and stepped forward to open the door. At opening the door, he found that the room service boy was at the door with their dinner. Finding him standing at the door, all three of them came back to their senses and took a relief breath. Leon asked the room service boy to keep the food on the table, and as soon as the boy left, he called out to his friends and said,
"It's late night already, let's have dinner."
Then a voice came out of nowhere. "If it was only about eating food, then am I called here to be fooled around? Come and talk to me, ask whatever question you want to ask." When Leon and Elias looked, they found that this voice was coming from Jonas' mouth. Leon said,
"Jonas, stop joking, let's have dinner."
Then, Jonas yelled at Leon and said, "Tell me one thing, why are you in so much hurry to have dinner? Who do you think you are? Shall I inform your innocent wife that you married her for the sake of money only? Shall I also inform her that, when, why and with whom do you visit your flat in Austin? And what about room number 303 of Hotel Hamburg? Speak out, what happened to your voice now?" Just then, Leon's phone rang. And upon his phone ringtone, Jonas said, "Check your phone. This is nobody else but the girl from room number 303 of Hotel Hamburg, sending her photographs. Come on, have a look, hurry up." Whatever Jonas said was such a fact of Leon's life that only Leon knew, and the message that came on his phone at this time also had the same thing that Jonas was talking about. But Elias felt that maybe both of them together making a fool of him. Hence, he said,
"Come on, man, I am done with your gimmicks, now let's have dinner."
Jonas turned to Elias and said, "Shut up, beggar, if Leon roam around girls, so Elias tell me, are you less than anyone? I know you are a gambler. Did you ever wonder, how will you pay off all your debts?" Now, Elias had an idea why Leon was silent, because no one else knew all these things about Elias except himself. Jonas once again said, "Now why don't you tell Leon that you have come on this trip not to maintain friendship, but to ask him for a loan?" Elias shocked to hear this from Jonas, as whatever he said was the only intention Elias had behind coming on this trip. Now Jonas, pointing towards himself, said, "Leon, I really want to talk about Jonas too while being in your body, so that I can show his real face in front of you both." Jonas was speaking filthy truths about his friends, Leon and Elias, but the surprising thing was that that was not the voice of Jonas at all. Leon and Elias were surprised to hear all these things, because no one else knew about all these things except themselves. That's when Jonas, pointing towards himself, said, "I feel good inside Jonas' body, because he is not like both of you." Jonas always wanted to work on his own, first job, then business, and his main motive behind coming on this trip was to discuss his new business plan with both of you. Leon, I know everything you did with Jonas' girlfriend. Hearing the truth of Jonas' personal life, a smile appeared on Elias' face, and that's when Jonas said, "Elias, why are you smiling? Go and ask your wife that when she leaves the house, giving an excuse of cooking classes, then what all she does with this bastard, Leon, in his Austin flat." Jonas also said, "This man Leon is a friend for the name's sake only because he needs something more under the guise of friendship." The big truth of Elias' life was in front of him. He was looking at Leon with eyes full of anger, and at that moment Jonas said, "Why are you getting angry on Leon, you bastard?" "Because I know that you also kept evil eyes on Leon's wife, but his innocent wife never noticed that, and she kept on addressing you as her brother. Don't worry, you both will get reward of your deeds very soon. You both will die." The food was kept on the table as it is, and forgetting about their friend Jonas, a fierce scuffle broke out between Leon and Elias. And if we talk about Jonas, he was sitting on the bed with a smile on his face, watching their fight with great ease. Next morning, when the door of their room did not open for a long time, the hotel manager decided to call the police. When Leon and Elias opened their eyes, the hotel manager and police officer were sitting in front of them to take their statement. Elias asked,
"Where is Jonas?"
The police officer asked him back, "Who is Jonas?" Then he answered,
"Our third friend, who had come here with us in Berlin."
The police officer asked for the hotel register to check out the entries from last day and saw that only Leon and Elias' names were written in that. Even in the CCTV footage also, only two men, means Leon and Elias were spotted in this hotel. When the police officer asked about their friend Jonas' appearance, he said,
"He would be around 5 feet 8 inches tall with brown hair, and last night, when he was with us, he was wearing a blue t-shirt."
The police officer showed a picture on his phone to both of them and asked, "Did your friend look like this?" Both of them were stunned seeing the picture, because this man in the picture was none other but Jonas. Then the police officer said that the boy in this picture has died in a car accident on his way to Berlin last evening. And next to him, we found a bag of clothes and a planchette board. Now let me ask you, if Jonas was dead last evening, then who was with Leon and Elias whole night? Let us leave it, because these are some of the questions which neither Leon nor Elias has the answer. Jonas was probably one of those friends, who fulfilled the promise of meeting his friends, even after being dead.
Thank you for your time. You were listening to Milestone 13. Please do not forget to follow us on our social media. Links are in the description.